Okay, I'm back with you today, working on image quality, ISO, and manual settings on and light metering on a Rebel. Um, I will try to do another one for the Nikon because I know we do have someone in the class that has that. I'm going to kind of zoom in here close so we can get in with this. Okay, this is the top of your camera. Um, and I'll show you again. This is the shutter speed. It's always usually represented by a slash. It looks like a fraction. This is the f-stop, which usually has the letter F in front of it. This tells how fast your camera opens and closes. This tells how big a hole in the lens comes through. This right here is the camera meter. When you are on manual, which is you set it right there. When you're on manual, you will change these parts so that that little point is right in the center. But I've gotten ahead of myself. Let's go up a little bit more. The menu, it should be there. Click. When you click that, you have a bunch of little crazy things up here. One of the first things you want to change is your image quality. And this goes for everybody. Your image quality, usually the default is large. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to kind of get it bigger for you. Here we see all the different options. Large is usually the best. This is large, but it's kind of pixelated, blah, blah, blah. For you guys are best to shoot it with RAW and large. Let me tell you what RAW is. RAW is the pure image. It's the pure, complete photographic image. It's as close as we can get right now to film. And this allows one to be shot in RAW and one to be shot in best. So here when we start out, you have this one, but later you can go back in and use RAW, and I can show you how to do that. Once you set it up, hit OK. Then the next thing we're going to go to is ISO. ISO tells us right here, tells us how sensitive your camera is to light. Once you scroll down and choose that, this is what's going to come up. I usually never use it on auto. If you're on the beach, if you're somewhere super bright, out in direct sunlight, use 100. Inside, with good light, I usually choose 400. And then if I can't get a good light meter reading with this, I go up to that one, up to that one, up to that one, and that one until I can get a meter reading I can use and hold in my hand. So that's where we were. Now we're ready to set it on manual. We look at the back. Now, there's a few things that we need to realize when we're working with our manual. This little button right here is super important. Maybe I'll draw an arrow instead. That's still too big. There it is. Okay. When up in the front, this little switch right there, that's how you change these numbers. Your camera's default is to change this number first. And you'll have to experiment. You'll roll it one way, the number will get bigger. You roll it the other way, that number will get smaller. Big equals bright. So if it's a big number, that means it's got to be super bright. Okay, let me put my T on there. Small number, equals dimmer. Or less light. Okay. So when we look at this, that's a huge number. This is a huge number. This is a relatively small number. So we've got something, I'll put this fast. We've got something that's moving fast. But we need more light with it. Okay. Now, that's to move this little guy right here. If you want to move this one, you're going to have to use this. That little plus minus is a universal symbol on most cameras. And if you see that plus, you push in that button, and then when you roll that little roller, this number will get bigger or smaller. Okay? And that's how much light you're getting into the camera. All right? So, let's go down. When this is inside your view. All right. I would start out with all my photographs for you guys doing an ASA of 400. You see, that would be either this or that plus raw. Okay. Don't worry about this is automatic white balance. We can correct for that. And we'll learn a little bit more about different things. But the first thing we want to do is get this right in the middle. So what I do is I start out, remember this is the first part that moves. So I roll my little roller and I watch how this moves, because sometimes it'll be down here where you've got that little square, or sometimes it'll be up here and it has that little square, and then sometimes up here it'll be that little square and it'll flash. Okay, that means it's off the mark. But okay, so what you'll do is you will roll the little roller and watch this. Now, if this roller gets under 130, you need to push that little plus minus and start changing this. If you can't get, this is second, if you can't get this into the center with this is your third option. Okay, change this. Then go back Once you've changed that, you go to 800. Oops, that was a terrible 8. 1600, 3200. If you notice, it's doubling or halving. So the object is to get it right in the center. Now, what you want to do on this is to adjust that. So we're going to shuffle over. There's that little plus minus again. All right. This is what you'll see inside your lens when you look through. The picture will be up here. So it's at 200 ISO. 125 is 1 over 125, and at f16. Okay. Now, if you look here, this one is what we call one stop, too much light. So we can roll this down, but what they did is they pushed that little plus minus. Oop. And they changed that number, smaller number, more light. This one was too bright. Too dark. That's one stop, too dark, too little light. And so again, they changed, pushed the plus minus and changed the f-stop. Now, what I want you to do I'm trying to get this all going away. What I want you to do is I want you to roller bar your thing so it gets right there so you can take a picture. Remember, this number must not be under 1/30th of a second. On this particular camera, it would just say 30. Okay, you can't go to 15. No. All right. If you go to 15, you're going to have to change this one. So you're going to get one correct. And then this is what we call bracketing. You're going to go one stop over, or one stop where you change it and it goes here, or one stop under, one going here. So for every one picture you make 3. Why do you do that? You haven't learned your camera yet. Sometimes your camera, like for me, I always take it one stop under because I like nice, rich, dark colors. Honestly, I don't know anybody that likes it one stop over, but there might be. All right. And some people like it just right straight in the middle. I hope this helps you understand. And I want to see some brackets on this week's flower assignment. Remember, you're going to go buy flowers and then take your pictures. If there's any questions, text me while you're doing this and I can walk you through it.